come and give us one worship song as we correct ourselves back. Thank you so much, Manuela. Who remembers the name of the person who has already talked to us? Yes, Mema? Navigate. I will ask him for the name. I have still not heard the name. As I welcome Mr. Bennett to welcome the next speaker. I told you people, when the hands are yours, clap. Thank you, sir. Woo. I told you guys I'm a teacher. Being a teacher, I'm very observant. Can we kind of change the sitting arrangement a bit so that we're together? Huh? Can we like sit in a semi-circle? I want to see all of you like so. Yeah? Like so. Let's start from here. Like this. We'll be like in one line. Even then you'll find the back benches going behind. Let's cover this area. Let's cover this. We are going too far. Let's use from here. Let's use from here. And here. Farthest should be here. Let's like this. Hey, I said here, not there. Let's get closer. is so far from you guys. From here. We can just have 2 lines maybe. No. I'm saying if the first one is here, the second one is here. So no person is sitting beyond there. It's beyond here. Let's move with more and us also there. Okay. Why are we fighting to be behind? Anyway, that's okay. Guys, welcome back from lunch. Joshua, please come. Can you do a song for us? With your guitar. Okay. Can you welcome him to do a song with his guitar? Who is the saxophone? You missed, you would have done something for you guys with a saxophone. Who wants to take the blessing of holding the microphone? Oh.
So this song that I'm going to do is called Stay and Wait. It's a reminder that with respect to what God did, the person of God will stay and hold on to the name of things.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Is that your original composition? Okay. Please stay. I would want to ask my brother Joshua to share briefly about what his struggle has been and how his journey is so far. Right? Good.
Hello everyone. So for me, what I want to talk about is what my struggle was with anxiety and things to do maybe with depression and how things are with stress. For me, what I can start off with all this is from when I was a kid. I think I remember I was about 6 years old. At that point in my life, okay, naturally, I've always been an introverted person. But I entered into a new school, I remember, straight from nursery, and the first thing that got to me was the bullying. The bullying was relentless. And I remember, as all that kept on happening, sometimes I wanted it to stop, other times I just powered through it, and I just told myself to keep on going. So, as it kept on sticking with me, I focused on other things at school instead. Instead of focusing to make friends, instead of focusing to say I'm going to find someone who actually understands me, I decided to just focus on grades and passing school. And in the process of doing that, it made me, what people would say, I'm a very intelligent kid, but I did that because I had no choice. It was either pass or I have nothing else to offer, and that's the principle that I used to live by. But I didn't know that it was biting into me. I didn't know it was getting so deep into my system that as I kept on growing up, I realized that I had not developed my own clear sense of self. I had not developed a clear sense of who exactly the guy behind all these things was, that guy who knew music, or the guy who knew this and that. I had not developed that yet. And I remember I didn't do the international curriculum. For me, I did the national one, and UNEB and all those things. So a bunch of the things I'll say right now may sound strange, but I'll explain them. I remember the year that really pushed me to my limit because of all this, because of all the stuff that happened to me. I realized that I was someone that, first of all, I couldn't just talk about it freely, which brings me to my first point of asking you guys, if you have something that's bothering you, if you have something that's biting you and it's really cutting into you, please talk to someone. Please talk to someone. Don't try to power through it alone. Don't try to think you're immortal. I know the thing of trusting who to talk to about all these things, it may seem like a foreign concept to somebody because I don't know your past, but I know that there are some people here who can relate to what I've said. And you find it hard to trust someone. If you cannot trust any single person, then please talk to God. Talk to God. Because I can assure you, he'll always listen, and you'll bring the right person to listen to you. And you'll listen to you and you'll feel so much better. So for me, because I didn't have that, I remember it pushed me to my limit. That was around when I was about 17, clocking 18. That was senior 4. That was in the year 2023. That was the year I remember when I got pushed so far back down to the point that I wrote my first suicide note. I wrote down that note and I planned out exactly how I was going to do it. And in thinking of all that, I didn't stop. In fact, what stopped me that day was, I don't even know what stopped me, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And as time went on, I realized one thing about all these things to do with anxiety, to do with stress. That feeling of anxiety when you enter into a room and you feel as though every eye is focused on you, or that feeling of when you feel like no one cares about you, that feeling of depression and all that. I know some of you here, you're young, you guys are young. So, I don't know, maybe there could be a few factors here and there that have made it come early, but for those who have not yet had it,
it's not wrong for you to feel the way you feel. And for those who could be struggling with it now, you're not wrong for feeling the way that you're feeling. It's a human response that happens when someone has gone through so much on their own and you begin to feel as though all is lost. But the truth is, that's not the case. Not all of it is lost. And in fact, you have so much more to offer than you may think. You may think that you may not have so much more to offer, and you ask yourself, why bother? You start not giving your all and everything that you're meant to do. But the truth is, every single one of us here, whether you believe it or not, you deserve to succeed. You deserve to succeed. You deserve to be a person up there that other people look at and idolize and be like, I want to be like that person. It's not for a select few. It's for each and every single one of us. Whether you may believe it, whether you may not believe it, that's the actual truth. And since that's the truth, I want you to put it upon yourself and realize that since you deserve to succeed, since you deserve to be that person that everyone else will look at and be like, yeah, I want to be like that, then give yourself a chance to do it. Give yourself a chance to do it. Give yourself a chance to be that person, irrespective of how bad you may feel. Sometimes I know the struggles that we face growing up as kids, you may feel stressed about this and that, and ask yourself various questions of life. And one question that always comes to every single person, which is why bother? Why bother with this? Why bother with that? And all that. But there is every reason for you to bother, because you deserve to succeed. You deserve to be the person that's up there inspiring everyone. Every single one of you deserves it, irrespective of your background, irrespective of who you are, who your parents are, what people have said about you, what you may feel about yourself, irrespective of all those things. All of you deserve to be that person up there that people can idolize. So always keep in the back of your head that every time you feel as though all is lost, every time you feel as though it's not worth it, or you feel as though you may not have what it takes to accomplish, always remember that because you deserve it, you have what it takes, and you will surely succeed. Amen? Yes, that's all I have to say. Thank you for listening.
Just. You mentioned about how you struggled with depression and anxiety. What did that lead you to do too? Because I'm also thinking, they would want to know why you're at Aruka, right? Yes. Because the anxiety at Aruka. What's just briefly.
You guys want to hear that? Yeah. So I'll tell you. My Form 4, I did it at Marcos. I don't know if you guys know that school. Okay, recording school. I did it at Marcos. And at the time, I'm going to say something here that some of you may find a bit disturbing, but I think it's best that it's said now because we're all people and we all make mistakes. But at the time, I was struggling with an addiction. It wasn't drugs at all. It wasn't. It was an addiction to pornography. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Do you guys know what that is? Yeah. That was a very, very nasty part of my life. It's a part of my life actually that sometimes I'm now trying to forget that it ever happened, but it did. And I can't change the fact that it did. But what it did to me at that point, it threw my self-esteem all the way down to the ground. And it put me in a state where I constantly felt as though this is it, it's not worth trying anymore. And because I really didn't have someone here and there to find, and also because I felt as though my relationship with God had been damaged, I didn't bother to try and look for hope. Which brings me to another thing that I'm going to tell you guys is that never think that because of what you have done, your relationship with God is damaged. That's never the case. So those points where you feel as though you're farthest from Him, that is actually the closest to you. And if you just reach out your hand and say, God, please help me, you'll surely find Him there. You will surely find Him. So as time went on, I wrote more notes, more very, 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 very vile notes. And each of them I was looking for what to actually end myself. And that was during season of work until I eventually switched to Mango Estes. I don't know if you heard of that one. Now, Mango Estes is a place that's full of extreme and I mean extreme sorts of pressures, both from all angles, whether it's the teachers, whether it's the students, whether it's the social aspects of all of it, it's all the same, too much of pressure, and it didn't do well with me. So, when it didn't do well with me around March 2024, that was when I actually now decided I actually doing it. I was not making any more bluffs saying that I was going to write notes and let them in there. No. I actually planned how I was going to do it, and I planned to use a poison of some sort, if I remember correctly. I planned to use a poison of some sort, and I was like, this is going to be it. Until chilling by myself, and I remembered something concerning how the brain, because I was doing BCM. BCM is biology, chemistry, and math. So if you had anything to do with chemicals and biology, I knew my way around those things. So I started doing all those things. I started researching till I found out about substances. Next thing I knew, I'm popping pills every now and again. Going to school, so wasted I could barely walk. I remember one time I went to school, and I had to go into the chemistry lab. We were mixing chemicals inside there. Now the issue was that there are tables in the chemistry lab arranged in a certain way. In that, it forms a straight path through like this. I reached this side to walk through the path, and I realized I'd forgotten how to walk. That's how wasted I was on some days at school. And struggling to do that. Of course, I'd find my way somehow, but then it became something that was part of me. And when that was the case, and I kept on living that sort of lifestyle, it would numb the feeling for some time, that feeling of lack of self-worth when you're off all those things. Trust you won't feel it, but when it starts to wear off, it comes back 10 times worse. So that's what it was doing with me, and I was living my life constantly in that state, constantly in a state of popping pills, taking all those syrups. And I didn't smoke, I didn't drink alcohol. For me, I was strictly a guy that was with all those drugs and all that. And one thing led to another. I started to feel pain in this part of my back here. That's what I live with. The kidney is located. And that's when I realized that things were messing up my kidneys. Some stories started to happen in my liver somewhere here. That didn't stop me. That didn't stop me from continuing to take. Something else did. And that's something else that did. Right now, the situation in my whole life, I could say I'm not in the state that was as bad as it was back then. It's complicated, yes, it is. Right now my life is a bit complicated, but I'm not as bad as I was at the time when it happened. And what caused me to actually decide to stop, to actually reconsider my life actually, it was not the hand of any doctor, it wasn't any form of what, I don't know, higher power or anything, it was something else. About last year, 2025 in December, I had gone up north with my dad. And while I was there, I'd gone with so many pills. So I took the pills, and I took too much, but I didn't know it yet. And while I was outside there that day, I was walking, thinking that all was well, but I could, even though I was high out of my mind, I could feel a sense of impending doom, that something wasn't going to go right that day. And as I was walking, the compound there was very stony, extremely stony, so there were stones poking off from all over the place. So if you fall, you were going to feel that fall very, very well. So for me, I was walking, next thing I knew, I felt a tingling in my lower back, and I got a seizure. And that seizure was bad. You guys know what a seizure is, right? Yeah. So I got a seizure and I fell. And what saved me was that my dad put his foot directly where my head was supposed to land. And it blocked the impact, but I still got cut by a stone. The scar is here on my eye. I think it's on this one, yes. The scar there showing why it happened. And when falling, I passed out and went unconscious. That's the last thing I remember was actually me getting a seizure. And my dad and my siblings, plus my cousin, rushed me over to the hospital. That drive was over an hour. And in that hour, from what they told me, they said every single one of them was praying that I didn't die that day. And when we reached the doctor's place, when we reached the hospital, and they brought me out of my car, I was when I had woken up. And it turns out I also had my shoulder real bad. When they only talked to the doctor said that one, if my dad had not put his foot there, I'd have died that day. And two, he also said if they had taken any longer, maybe another 20 minutes to get to the hospital, I was going to be beyond saving. So I survived death on 2 accounts that day. And it was that made me realize that, honestly, it's too much of a price. And that's something I can tell you guys, it's too much of a price. Yes, it can numb issues in certain ways, but it's pulling off a price from you that you're not willing and you're not even ready. You're not even capable of paying it, because you could die. You could die. There are other drugs out there people say maybe are less easy, can handle things like weed and all that, but one way or another things can change. And one way or another it could be your last one that you could use. I know tons of people who have died because of overdoses, and I reached close to joining one of them. So what I can tell you guys from that story of mine is that there is always another way. God is there. You've got friends in that, but most importantly, God is there. Because I can assure you, if He wasn't there, if He was not real and all that, He wouldn't have allowed me to come and be saying all these things to you guys. And also, He would not have been there to make His promises and His word saying that He will always be there to listen to you. He would not have made the promise that says that we should cast our burdens and do it because they are light. So that's one thing I want you guys to listen to and take into account and realize that there is always another way. You don't have to walk and use things like substances. It's not worth it. I told you guys, each of you deserve to succeed. Each of you deserve to be the person up there. So there has to be another way besides you giving up your life when you haven't got what's rightfully yours. So that's all I can say. Thanks for listening.
So proud of you. Wow. Yes, have you seen? It's actually not about the drugs of alcohol, the drugs, the weed, the heroin, the cocaine, and alcohol. There is more. And actually today, with young people, the biggest right now is opioids. Opioids, yeah? Do you know what opioids are? Yes, now, what he was using, the prescription drugs, the drugs that you buy from the pharmacy. Yeah? Now, there's what we call neuroscience of addiction. In neuroscience of addiction, this is what happens. If you're using opioids, like he mentioned. Now, the examples of the drugs that we're talking about are codeine. Have you heard about codeine? Have you guys heard about codeine? Oh, no one has ever heard about codeine? Okay. Codeine is a cough syrup. Yeah? You know that one? You heard about it? You know it. Yes? But it is so addictive that it is actually worse than even the marijuana that people take. You've heard about tramadol? How many of us have ever used tramadol? Now, let me say this. Tramadol, and unfortunately, I have trouble with some clinicians. Someone gets headache, instead of starting them on paracetamol, which is the normal Panadol, someone is putting you on tramadol. Tramadol is meant, these are drugs that actually some of them are used with cancer patients. People that are experiencing extreme pain. The other people that use tramadol are people that are sicklers, people that have sickle cell, and they have so much pain, they end up using tramadol. But young people today are actually abusing these drugs. Now, listen to this. When they use the tramadol, when they use codeine, when they use pethidine, you've heard about pethidine? Yeah, all these are strong drugs. Yes? But they are called opioids, yeah? So opioids are actually heroin. Heroin is also part of the opioids. It's the father of opioids. Now let me just take you briefly about the neuroscience of addiction. Every time, you see, the major thing that opioids work on is the dopamine effect. You heard about dopamine? The reward effect. For example, when we ate food, or like when you have your CJ, yes, there's that feeling that you have, that you've eaten good food, or when you take water, right? The other part is when you have done something, or you have performed so well, you have finished all your assignment. Where's my brother who finished last year? What's no, who finished the course here? What? He was around. Yeah. Why? How do you feel when you see this guy is here and for you you're there? Eh? Or like for when you finished Form 4, yeah, and probably results came back and you passed. There's that feeling that you have, yeah. That's the natural dopamine. Okay? Now listen to this. The natural dopamine levels that we all have under normal circumstances is, let's say, 100. Okay? Now, when you use opioids, like we've talked about codeine, which other one? Tramadol, pethidine, heroin. So when you use it, yeah, they come and attack the dopamine receptors, okay, in the brain, right? Remember, dopamine is for reward. It's for feeling good, right? Now, this comes and they camp around the receptors of your natural dopamine. Yeah? So your natural dopamine is suppressed. So it increases it from 100 to 1,200. That's why if someone is using these opioids, they're always in cloud 9. The heights, they are overly excited. Like they feel like they're always happy. Yeah? Now, all the time, they don't care about anything. They feel they are happy. Even when I had one of the guys that lost the dad, and he was introduced to heroin that day. The guy got so excited. They had to take him away. They didn't even bury his father. Why? Because the excitement levels that he had were so high. Now, this is what that will happen after a few minutes. Now the tolerance stage. A few minutes later, when it starts to wear out, and you want to maintain that level, that height, that level of excitement, that feeling good effect, as it reduces, it now produces sadness, low mood, depression comes in. Then you start feeling pain all over your body, diarrhea. Some people vomit. Now that's what we call the withdrawal. How do you call it? Withdrawal syndrome. You're withdrawing. And all this person needs, allow me to say this, no offense. The time I went to pick him, when I was bringing him to Aruka, at first he was really low on mood, everything. But again, you'd see him there. But as everything was wearing out, he came and he's like, he was asking for more drugs that he was using. Diazepam. He was like, he knew he had left some tablets of diazepam somewhere. And he was, at this time, you're irritable. You're so aggressive. You feel if you don't get this drug, you're going to die. Why am I, by the way, you guys are young, right? Probably I wouldn't be speaking to you about these things. I'm speaking to you so that you can actually know. When the people that are determined to kill your future are coming to you, showing you how cool it is to smoke or to take those cocktail drinks, none of them will tell you about the withdrawal syndrome that you're going to experience. The pain you're going to have in your body. And guess what? When someone is at that level, all you need is just a single dose of what you're using. Once this person receives, even if it is just one tablet like this, they'll be kawa. They'll go back to the happiness, general happiness, like they were before. So for them to maintain a life, you have to maintain your life on these drugs. But you see, the thing is, it never gets lower, or it never gets to be like, I started with just maybe 2 tablets of diazepam, yeah, or just this small thing of tramadol. Huh? The more you take, the more the body demands for more. Yeah, it keeps on demanding for more. So one, it is very expensive to maintain. Now, because you do not have money, right now you're not working, what will happen? You'll start stealing to be able to feed the addiction. You'll start manipulating. You'll start lying. You'll start forging things so that you can access some money to go and buy these things. Now I want to talk to the girls. Yeah? I've treated so many ladies that are struggling with tramadol and pethidine. And why are they doing? How did it come? Painful periods. Can I tell you something? Once, even if you have painful periods, they can never kill you. The moment you go to look for that quick fix, you're hooked into an addiction that cannot heal. You do not need medication to deal with the natural thing that God gave you. You do not need, someone may say, boss, you don't know because you're not a woman. Yes, but let me tell you, that pain is there. Yes, and I said that's how the scripture says it. The current suffering is nothing compared to the glory that is yet to come. The days, by the way, and now I'm speaking to you as a public health person. Okay? Now, I can't say that I understand what this means. But let me tell you, the things you're experiencing, our mothers experienced them. Our grandmothers experienced them. Our great-grandmothers experienced them. It's natural. God created us that way. And the moment you start looking for quick fixes to fix this, that's when addiction comes in. And you cannot, let me say this, for you guys who went to Aruka last time, when you happen to see the ladies, that beautiful girls that you found in rehab. Now let me tell you, I go to Butarika today. When you go there, the biggest number of patients that we have among the ladies are using opioids. That you do not need that. It's that pain you will take 2-3 days for. It can't go beyond 10 days, does it? No, it can't. But let me tell you something. God has given you what it takes. It is you to say, God, I know I am strong enough to fight this. And it will end, right? Right? I must make sure that I'm right, because I have not experienced it. I don't know what it feels like. But as a person, as a medical person, I know now through studies. Yeah? Just hang on. Don't get used to medication. Okay? God is with you. He knows your hustle. in that area. And all the guys say amen. Yeah, we thank God, we thank God, we thank God. Now, you hear about that? Now, do you see now? This is where it gets a bit more interesting, right? We think we can be there and we're thinking that now you guys can be thinking, you guys who took drugs, how do you take alcohol? But do you listen to that? Pethidine, tramadol, codeine, and then you go into, now let me show you this. The drugs that we use in the treatment to deal with, now with this, with the opioids, we majorly use antidotes. But now, the medication that we use to treat people that are having substances, now it's the medication that young people are abusing, like diazepam. Yes? Some of these drugs are antidepressants. Okay? Yes? We have antidepressants, we have stimulants, just like the nomenclature, the name, if they are stimulants. Now, can you give anyone who knows any example of a stimulant? Cocaine is a stimulant. When it stimulates your brain, your brain functioning goes faster than the normal. Yeah? And guys, blindly, guys who use cocaine, they feel in their mind they are the sharpest keys on earth. But it's not true. They feel if they have used cocaine, yeah, their brain will function faster, and it will go beyond what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah? For stimulants, this is what happens. You've heard stories of some artists. They say that the artist seemingly fell from the 4th floor of the building and fell down and broke their legs. Do you know what happened? There's now exaggeration of you have started. Do you see when someone is like that? Who has a Bible here? I want to read for you something from Proverbs. Anyone with a Bible? Anyone? Any Bible here? Yes. The Bible says, I think it's Proverbs 23, verse 29. The Bible says that your eyes, yes, will start seeing strange things. Yeah? Your eyes now. Because someone who thought that they are using these opioids, they are using cocaine, like he mentioned, to think faster, your eyes will now start seeing strange things. Some of the things that we look at is psychosis. You've heard about psychosis? Psychosis is your eyes will start seeing things. Yeah? You start hallucinating. You start having hallucinations. You start having delusions. Some of these hallucinations are visual. So you can see them. As we are here, if someone used cocaine, as you're here with them, for them they are not here. And as it grows into bipolar, it grows into... Sorry? Yes.
Okay, Proverbs 23. Let me begin from verse 1. Yeah.
It says, do not look on the wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it swirls around smoothly. At last, it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. Verse 33 says, your eyes will see strange things, and your heart will utter perverse things. Yes, you will be like one who lies down in the midst of the sea, or like one who lies at the top of the mast, saying, they have struck me, but I was not hurt. They have beaten me, but I did not feel it. When shall I awake that I may seek another drink?
Hear that. As this person, now, from that part where it says, do not look at wine, yes, when it sparkles. You see when these guys are advertising these drinks, no one will do it this way. All of us know that orange is not sweet, right? It's not yummy at all. Yeah? But when they are advertising it, they even put you're like, someone take. The real thing is, when you take that warranty, all you're thinking of is like, where can I spit it? Then your face changes, right? But when they are advertising it, they will show you like it goes like on your throat like honey. Why? Because they know the things that you want to see. It's the good things, right? Now, when you're using some of these things, your eyes will start seeing strange things. You'll be like the one who is on top of the mountain. You'll be like now the artist I was talking about. We get to hear, the newspapers do not give the whole story. They'll tell you that he was on top of the building and then he fell. What was happening? He's on the 5th floor of a building and there is a building next, which is like a 4-story building. Now, in between here, for him, because his perception is exaggerated, he looks at it as if it is just like a trench that you're crossing like this. He will move from there, he falls down, and breaks his legs. And some of them have ended up dying. Yeah? You've had people, huh? Now, I recently, I saw someone when I was in Costa Rica who came and told us, guys, for me, I am Jesus. Okay? I am Jesus. And he's so convinced about it. Yeah? He feels, then another one was telling me, he is the president of Uganda. And he assured me, tomorrow morning, Nabanja, Anita Among, and he mentioned all the top guys, and he's like, these guys are jokers. They are playing in my government. His mind now, you see the one who started when they were treating the periods. Now they are at a level, okay, where they are finding out that they are the president of Uganda. When you're starting to vape, these are now things that are affecting you guys, the younger generation. When you're starting to vape, no one is going to tell you that soon you're going to start experiencing withdrawal. And before you know it, because of the sadness that comes with withdrawal syndrome, you're being suicidal. You want to kill yourself. Yeah? The things you're watching in movies are the things that are happening right now at our face. And that's why we come to speak to you. Because we do not want to see you guys getting there. These are quick fixes. It's a quick fix that you think is going to make your life better. But he mentioned something that before you take it, you feel it's what you need to numb your pain. But once it wears out, its pain is times 10. And you have to live in that tolerance kind of thing. I'm saying this, probably you've seen it with some of our cousins, some of our siblings that have struggled with these things. And breaking an addiction, it takes the grace of God. Please, Lydia, come. Our time is fast spent. Lydia is going to take us through. She will introduce herself more, and then she will take us through her session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please clap for me.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Kutesa Lydia, and I'm a counseling psychologist. Yeah? Yes. You've had a lot of stories on addiction, on pornography, and all those other things. Yeah? So I'm here to collect everything so that you don't get out. Okay, you're confused. Okay? So where does all this start from? It starts from identity. All the stories that they've talked about, there is one thing that is, centered, and that is identity and knowing who you are. So I'm going to do a quick exercise here. You guys are going to tell me about who you are. I need two to three people. Who are you? You don't know who you are. Okay.
I'm a child of God, and I was created in His image.
Wow, let's clap for her. Anybody else? Who are you? To give you a brief recap, you need to, I need at least 2 to 3 people because this is a very, very important question. Even there are people who are like in their 30s, 40s, and when you ask them who they are, they don't know. I remember one time somebody asked me who are you, and then I said, oh, I'm a digital manager, I work for digital marketing, I work for this, counseling psychologist. They're like, no, I'm not asking you about your profession. I am asking you, who are you? You get? So, who are you? That is a very critical question. Even when you go for job interviews, they'll ask you, tell us about yourself. And once you cannot do that, that is it. So, you need to tell me. If I don't get volunteers, I'll just pick out randomly. So, kindly tell me, who are you?
I'm a Christian.
Okay, cool. That's really nice. Anybody else? A gentleman? This side?
Jerry.
I'm a child of God.
Amen. I think the problem is around that area. So that is it's very, very important to know who you are. Because when you get out there, you get shaken. Yeah? I'll give a brief example of my story. You know, I also grew up going to Christian schools. I did homeschooling. I come from a Christian family. So I was not exposed to many of these things. Actually, when I used to have stories of people coming in to speak about addictions, me, I would sign out and be like, yeah, I'm not doing those things. Where do people even get them from? Drugs! What did you say? Alcohol? Like, because I would be at school, the moment you get off school, you go back home. You get? I didn't have a phone. We had DSTV was the thing those days. You had to have DSTV to come from a cool home. Our parents used to monitor what we watched. Most of us used to watch Disney. So the only thing that was in our heads was Disney. Oh, I'm going to date. I'm going to be a part of the cheerleading team. Then I date some hot guy in high school, and that's how things will go on. Yeah. So we used to have that thing of Violetta. So I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to grow up and be like Violetta. But then I was just scared of teenage pregnancy, so I stayed away from that. So when you now get out of there and you get into the real world, that's when you begin to understand and be like, oh my goodness. You get? That's when reality hits and you're like, these things that they were talking about were actually very important. So you may be sitting here and you say, me, I don't do those things. Me, I'm not affiliated with those things. But trust me, listen in, take it in. This wisdom will come in handy sometime. Yeah? It will come in handy sometime later. So knowing who you are is very, very important. Your identity. When you know who you are, it helps you that even when you walk out there, you differentiate yourself and you set yourself apart. You get? Because when you go out there and you don't know who you are, the world is going to define for you who you are. You get? These days we have a lot of pop psychology. That's a psychology you see on TikTok, on Instagram, and everything. They'll be like, oh, if somebody is not nice, cut them off. So you have people cutting off their parents. You say to people, they're like, I have toxic parents. I come from a toxic background. Guys, I understand that we've all said that we are children of God. And I understand that you may come, that your home may not be as pleasant. But we've said that we are children of God and honor is due. What does the Bible say about parents? And your days shall be longer. So, honor those people. Those people, over they are bad, over they are good, over they are what? Those are the people God has placed in your life to take care of you. You get? Everyone would have wanted to be born in another family, in another place, in another, country. Some people want to be Ugandans and say the moment I get an opportunity, listening to history, and like me, if it was me, I go to UK, I'll even switch off my phone. People will never hear from me again. I would switch off my phone and just cut off those people. God has a reason as to why he put you in Uganda. God has a reason as to why he put you in this school. God has a reason as to why he gave you those teachers. God has a reason as to why you're doing this curriculum. Yeah? And then one other thing that I would like to point out. When you were a young person, you never understand the effect of the decisions that you make until you grow up. Yeah? So I want you to understand that you're not different from any of the people who have spoken, and any of the people that you met at Aruka, and even any of the people who live lives that you would not appreciate to live. It's just by the grace of God and by the decisions that we choose to make that we don't end up in particular spaces. But I want to let you know that you're one choice away to become that person that you did not want to become. You get? So when you're a young person, it's important for you to make the right decisions. That comes from the friends that you make, the places that you engage yourself in, the things that you listen to. Because if you listen to those kinds of people who are preaching those kinds of things that are not right, that are not biblical, you're going to become those people. Next thing you know, you're going to stop speaking to your parents because you're cutting them off. You're going to start saying, oh, for me, I don't listen to, oh, for me at home, at home we have so much, we have so many chores and what. I used to joke with my brother. He would come home. Actually, I think I also used to do it at a younger age. At home, I would feel like the dishes at home are too many. But when I would visit my aunt, they would be like, hey, this is a very nice person. Because when I would enter, my aunt would be like, she would tell my cousins, why aren't you like Kutesa? Why? When I would go to their home after eating, I would go and help out with the dishes. And yet at home, I am not washing dishes at home. That is a show that people have to talk to me like over 10 times. Because I go and wash the dishes. Because I go and do this. So, when you do not, when you don't honor your parents, that is how, you end up wanting to please other people who are out there. So I just wanted to bring it out to this, to one easier context. Yeah. With me, I have some papers here. They could go around. This is a box that I created. Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm so proud. I found paintings. What? Oba, should I attend the lessons? Oba, I be teaching those lessons. Yeah. What do you guys see? Mr. Blinky, right? Yes, this is Mr. Blinky. Mr. Blinky has big ears, very big ears, and a small mouth. Do we all see that? Do we all see that? Okay. And what is Mr. Blinky saying? Tell me something. So we have shared a lot, and we have said a lot. I want you guys to use those papers that I've given you in case you are struggling with something or you relate with something that has been talked about, yeah, write it down on that paper and you will drop it in Mr. Blinky. Okay? Are the instructions clear? Yeah? Okay, I'm going to repeat the instructions. This is Mr. Blinky. He has big ears and a small mouth. Do we all see that? What does that mean? He will listen. He will not judge. He will not snitch. Okay? So, I want you to use those papers that I've given you to tell Mr. Blinky something. Okay? We have shared a lot since around 11 o'clock. We've been sharing, we've been saying a few things here and there. So in case you have a question, or you feel like you relate with some of the things that have been mentioned, kindly write it down on that paper and drop it in Mr. Blinky. Okay? Yes. The beauty about this, you don't have to put your name. So no one will say, I think it was this person, okay? There is a high level of confidentiality, okay? You can put your thoughts there. You can put what you think about the station. You can tell Mr. Blinky anything. Even if we've talked about something, we've not talked about something, but you feel like it would have been relevant, or you feel like we would have talked about it, you can write it down and tell Mr. Blinky. Okay? Yes. All right. So that's pretty much it. Otherwise, if any of you have questions that maybe you would like to ask, you can feel free. If without the ones that you may not tell Mr. Blink, if you want to ask a question maybe on the mic, like you want it to be addressed right now, feel free. So anyone? I'm going to put Mr. Blinky here. Yeah, so you can drop anything in here. So, any questions? Anyone who would like to say something? Even if it's not a question and you just want to mention something from the session.